You are once again in the field with Neil. Today I'm out at Masquetuck. There's a beautiful old sunken forest, some really old trees in here, and I have good news. The buds are starting to come back. Spring has sprung, and I got someone for you to meet who can tell us a little bit more about that.
Uh-oh, we've caught a botanist in the wild.
A botanist at work.
Kelly
Hi,
Omand, how's it
Neil.
going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. A really nice morning out here, isn't
Beautiful spring day. The temperatures are really starting to come up into spring. We're starting to see a lot of things blooming. And some things are starting to barely open their buds and just begin to leaf out. So I'm out here today. I do a research project in the forest at Squam, and I like to come over to Masquetuck as well and check things out. Since like I said, the leaves are not quite out yet, but we have some hazelnut blooming here. And we've got some buds on this mockernut hickory that are just starting to really expand. They're really round and easy to identify.
Oh, so these woody little buds at the end of this.
Yeah, so mockernut has really stout twigs, which helps you notice it too. Yeah, so these are just getting a little bit bigger every week as the temperatures warm up and the day length gets longer. And behind you, we could take a look at some hazelnut.
Oh. So that's these little catkins that we can see.
Yeah, those are the male flowers. They're all arranged in one long string like a caterpillar, which is why they're called catkins. And there are many, many tiny little flowers filled with pollen at this point. Maybe if you flick it, you can get it to put out some pollen. Maybe not.
No.
So it's so windy that a lot of times the pollen actually gets blown away pretty quickly here. But hazelnut's a wind-pollinated shrub. So those male catkins are wiggling in the wind and they're releasing the pollen into the air. And then, I don't know if you can see the little red flowers. I don't want to get too close.
Really close, yeah.
Those are the female flowers, and that's where the nut will form.
Oh, so those tiny little, they look like little red starfish or little red pom-poms.
Yeah, they're almost a really incandescent red color.
Let me try to get some pollen off this little group of catkins. Oh, Raven the cat rider, here we go. All right.
Your only hope to see the pollen.
No.
I think we're getting a little late. Some flowers are just beginning to open, so they've opened over time. Here's one that hasn't really opened yet. So because they're kind of hedging their bets, if we have really bad rainy weather, not good for pollination, the ones that open later will still be able to pollinate the female flowers. And these are mostly American hazelnut here. But we have two species of hazelnut, and you can tell very carefully by looking at the twigs. And the American hazelnut has these little tiny hairs all along the twigs, and in some cases you can really see they have these little red glands. So the glands are like exuding a little bit of juice. So you really have to get in there with your hand lens to see those.
And these are like some of the earliest flowers in our forest.
Yeah, the hazelnut and the cedar is blooming about now. And what else is giving me trouble with my allergies? The cedar, the hazelnut, and elm. So if you're driving around and you see the elms, the really tall elms that we have on Nantucket, the street trees, they're really filled out right now. And that's all flowers that you're seeing up in the canopy. They haven't even started to think about leafing out yet.
So that's a lot of the stuff downtown, those planted
right,
trees.
If you drive by the high school, right at the corner near where the swimming pool is, there's a huge elm there, and you can see it from a distance that it's just full of flowers.
Oh, neat.
We don't really have any elms growing in the wild here, but those are planted trees that you can take a look at.
But this is a nice time to come out and see everything before it's leafed out. You can see a lot more.
Yeah, you can really see into the understory, and one of the things I'm doing is looking for a particular species of sedge that I found last year that wasn't known to be on Nantucket until last year. So it's a sedge that grows in the understory, and you wouldn't be able to see with all the leaves. But sometimes those sedges green up early, and you can see them in the leaf litter, and they stand out. So I haven't found any here. I've only found them at Squam Swamp, but I'm looking for them in other places.
So that's why you got your hand lens out.
Thicket sedge.
And getting ready to...
Right, well, I'm hoping to find some interesting things. You never know what you'll find. There are some interesting caterpillars that are feeding on the hazelnut catkins, and there could be other things that are just starting to emerge.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look at something else.
Sure. It's okay to hug your trees today. Everybody, has their favorite trees.
You know, we all need a good hug after this last year that we've had.
This tree especially needs a big hug because it's got a problem with oak cryptgall wasp in the treetop. If you look up, there are a lot of dead branches. And this is an insect that's actually believed to be native to North America, but it's recently arrived and just spreading through all the coastal black oaks. And it really only affects black oak, and we have a lot of those.
And so as we're walking along the forest and we're looking up and seeing those little ping pong balls that are kind of on the ends of some of the branches, that's the actual gall.
That's probably a different kind of gall. They're really round galls. This will be like if you have really bad arthritic knees and they're all knobby. That's how it's usually described. There's some branches right here. So it's right where the nodes are, where the little branches come off. And inside there'll be a larva of this wasp that's eating away the inside of the twig. And it will actually kill off that twig, and it won't really be able to produce any leaves or flowers.
Oh, man.
So this tree's been really hit badly, and some in this area. The vineyard and the Cape have also had really bad explosions of this insect, but we had a researcher out here and he did some research finding that there are insects that are actually feeding on the cryptgall wasp. So it should help it bring it under control.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's a new insect to the system, but there are all these generalist predators that are other wasps that can lay eggs inside the crypt, which is where the larva is, and the larva will die.
That's
so
that's
we're
good
waiting
news for
for
our
that.
black oaks.
But some of the trees are pretty badly affected, like this one. So cross our fingers.
And you had something over here for us.
Yeah, I was walking along and I noticed that there was this interesting creature on these catkins. And it's actually some type of a larva. I'm not sure if it's a caterpillar or some other larval form of an insect, but it looks like it's really definitely on all of the catkins, and it matches the appearance of the catkin. So that must be the camouflage.
Trying to blend right in and outsmart all the predators.
Yeah, I mean, what a great thing. So it probably comes out at the same time, and it may be feeding on the catkin because you can see the bottom of the catkin looks like it might be missing. I'm not sure. But that's something I haven't noticed before. Every time you come out, you see something different.
I love that. That's one of the reasons to get into biology and ecology is you just kind of keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and you can discover some new stuff.
And you never know
here.
when the weather's about to change. The fog bank just flew in.
Classic Nantucket. The fog just comes in.
Yeah, this actually has a lot of effect on the forest as well, as all the sea fog that we get has nutrients in it, and it really, the lichen really tend to absorb all those nutrients and all the moisture. So we have kind of a well-developed lichen flora, and actually the moisture just tends to run down the stalks of all the plants.
So lots of moisture in the air means more lichen. It's also air quality as well, because lichen does not like places with heavy air pollution.
No, we have pretty good air quality here being offshore, but the humidity and then the salt spray with the magnesium, calcium, and other nutrients is really important for the lichen too.
Neat.
Yeah, so we have an interesting forest.
Yeah.